And there was one time where I was in the bathroom with loads of black girls and I started shouting the N-word over and over in the stall. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. Hey guys, today we're talking about a particular topic that comes up every single stream, every single day, and that's, would I take the cure for Tourette's if there was one? Before we get started, I just want to say I'm not stoned, I'm just tired. The coronavirus has hit me really, really hard. I care for my mom, but I share those responsibilities with several other carers, and unfortunately, because of the virus, they haven't been able to make it out to help her. So it's just been me, and I've also been doing a bit more rescue work, animal rescue work. So I've been really busy and not been sleeping. It has nothing to do with any kind of drugs or anything before anyone makes those suggestions. So one of the things that's been really challenging about this question in particular is that people ask me it so often. I've been asked this question every single day for 2 years, and I've got to say there isn't presently a cure for Tourette syndrome. There are treatments, they are not consistent, and there is no known cure for Tourette syndrome. So when people ask this, it's usually a hypothetical question, and I want to tell you all the reasons why I hate that question so much. Fuck it. I really wanted to encourage people to be more respectful and think through how they make people feel when they engage with people with disabilities, and to also challenge their underlying assumptions about people's conditions, whether they're mental or physical, and the way that, you know, these people navigate the world. There was one particular day where, even though every single time people asked me previously, I was so polite about it because I figured there's no point getting mad. I'm educating people, and I feel really lucky to be able to be educating people. Every time people understand this condition a little bit better, people like me are safer out in public. I feel lucky, and it allowed me to be really patient with this question no matter how repetitive it got. But there was this one guy, and he just would not let it go. There was one day where I just could not be asked to answer this question again. Everyone who was a regular had heard it before, and I just didn't feel like it that day. I just didn't feel like being pigeonholed into repeating myself. So when he put this question over and over in chat, spamming it, repeating it over and over, I just ignored it. But then he made it a donation message so that it was automatically read out during my stream, and I was like, oh, now I can't pretend I didn't see it, I have to. Why? Why did you do this to me? And I just popped.
Consider this an ad break. You've heard it a million times before, but someone donated just to say that, so I'm gonna do it. Right. Do you wander into random disabled streamers' chat and ask them if they want to be cured? Do you walk up to people who are sat in wheelchairs and go, do you wish you had legs? Do you wish you could stand up and reach as high as I can? Do you ever wish there was a cure? Do you ever wish you were just like me? Do you ever feel really ashamed of the way that you are now and need fixing desperately and are constantly hoping that you could be different? Like me? Well, congratulations, you're an asshole. Yes, you're on Twitch, this is probably where you belong. There are a lot of assholes, you're in good company, but I'm gonna say this now, pal. I don't wish I was like you. I'm cool with myself. I'm not sat at home crying and desperately wishing there was a cure. I don't see myself as broken and constantly wish I was just like you. Because, let's face it, dude, you're probably just as broken.
Unfortunately, that particular clip, that one time I answered it angrily, was the one that everyone remembered, and it got clipped and it got shared around, and there were news articles about it, and people gave me hell for overreacting, and nobody quite understood the subtext of it. Nobody understood that he was harassing me. Nobody saw the harassment or the repetitiveness of it, or all of the assumptions that I should be grateful to have this condition or all the rest of it. People only saw someone be idly curious and ask a question maybe they'd ask themselves. And so they were like, I think she overreacted. He didn't mean it that way, this sort of thing. And, you know, people were cross with me because they didn't understand how much patience you have to have as someone with Tourette's on Twitch. The problem as well with it is that you're a biscuit. It would be painfully obvious if it was any other kind of disability that it's not an acceptable thing to say to someone. So for example, if I came up to someone in a wheelchair and said, do you ever wish you had legs? Do you ever wish you could stand up as tall as me? Do you ever wish you could reach the top shelf? you'd really begin to see how insensitive those questions are. Tourette's syndrome is a disability. It makes me struggle on a day-to-day basis. It's hard to cook without burning myself. Sometimes I go to feed the rabbits and I just throw the pellets all over the floor, and then I've got to hoover them up, and everything that I do is a challenge. It makes going outside really dangerous. I can't drive, and also going on public transport can be incredibly dangerous too, as people get offended or upset or think that I'm attacking them or abusing them. And so it's a real struggle just to do very, very basic things when you have extreme coprolalia, which is the verbal kind of tic that tends to be offensive. People have this misconception that it's just when I swear hilariously, and they fantasize about it being this quirk about me that's just a silly thing that doesn't really get in the way very much and might even be an excuse to offend people and get away with it, teehee. And it's just not like that. And that stereotype is another underlying aspect of this question. Like, people think, oh, it must be fun to just say what you want whenever. And then they think that maybe I'll be grateful to have this wonderful excuse to be offensive whenever I like. But the truth of the matter is, being offensive all the time loses its charm when it literally threatens your safety. I've gone to public bathrooms, and there was one time where I was in the bathroom with loads of black girls, and I started shouting the N-word over and over in the stall. And I thought that when I came out, I was like, how are they going to respond? Are they going to think I'm a racist? Are they going to hurt me? And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. Definitely being offensive loses its charm when you're forced to do it when you don't want to. And so there's no part of me that feels thrilled or excited at the prospect of insulting people and getting away with it. So no, everything that people think about my condition tends to be wrong, and everything they think they would do with my condition tends to be wrong too. And yeah, there is no aspect of this condition that makes me super grateful to be challenged in this way. But that said, I still don't feel broken, and I still don't sit around wasting my time endlessly fantasizing about a cure that doesn't exist. I use my challenges as a reason to step up, do good, create as many beautiful things as I can with every single one of my challenges. I genuinely do believe that adversity is an opportunity for change, and I don't let my challenges drag me down. I also know that everyone faces something. Everyone has a struggle of some sort. This is just mine. And there are people who get handed shit and they will make it into bricks and build houses. And there are people who get handed shit and they cry because they've got shit on their hands. So I want to be the former, not the latter. And it's really hard to be that when people are constantly, every day going, do you want to fix that? You know that thing? Do you want to fix that? Because it constantly is this demand to put me in this headspace where I should believe I'm broken and consider changing. And also, I just don't want to be like you. I'm fine. Like, when people say, do you want to fix your Tourette's? I kind of hear it as, do you ever want to be like me? Do you want to be less like you? Do you want to fix yourself? You poor broken fuck. You poor broken soul. Like, and that's just not how I want to be seen, let alone how I see myself. And so it comes across as incredibly insensitive and ill thought out. And it quite often comes with this assumption, this essential assumption that I really fundamentally disagree with, which is that some people who ask this question think I should be grateful for my condition because they think it's the reason I succeed on Twitch. And the reason why that's so wrong and fucked up is because most of the people who have Tourette's on Twitch have been on Twitch longer than me. And very few people ever get to stream to as many people as I have. Tourette's does not magically make you a popular streamer, and I definitely don't think that my stream is the size that it is because of my condition. And I think a lot of people expect me to be grateful for my condition, and a lot of people want like an uplifting, happy, airy-fairy answer, and I wish I could give it to you. I know the answer they're looking for. A lot of them have even complained and told me off for not giving this answer, and I've explicitly said, you're supposed to say that you're so happy you have Tourette's now, because now people like you for it and people give you money and now you can make a living from it and you've turned your disability into a positive, and I was really hoping to hear you say that and you didn't, and now I feel sad. And it's like, I was bullied my whole life. I didn't get a diagnosis until really late. It was really challenging managing my condition my whole life. But I had a life before Twitch and it had nothing to do with my disability. I was doing rescue work and I ran my own business, selling craft supplies online. I had found independence. I had found a way to manage despite my challenges. I don't see my condition as something that I ride on or rely on now. And I'm certainly not grateful for my condition. I just found a way to manage it and not be sad about the fact that I have challenges, just like everybody else. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is not only so that I can stop repeating myself in chat, but also to remind people to be respectful and kind to those with disabilities. And this is a way that people inadvertently be very disrespectful to us. Because when you assume that my success is based on my condition, you're assuming that I'm defined by it and that everyone who watches me for it. But I hope one day that we start treating people with disabilities with respect, and that we see beyond the disability. People who have disabilities aren't someone, you know, I'm not the Tourette's girl, I'm Anita and I happen to have Tourette's. It's a side note in my story. It's not my story, it's not what defines me. So yeah, there's my answer. There is no cure, and I don't find it helpful to sit and wish for one when there isn't one. I don't want to waste my energy on something that doesn't exist. So I don't think the answer to that question really matters. All that matters is that I'm doing the best with the life I've been given. And I'm very, very grateful that I'm alive at all. I'm not dissatisfied with who I am or the way that I engage with the world. And I hope that if you engage with my content too, that you'll be satisfied as well with the way that I'd manage things. And I'd love for more people to give me a chance to prove that I'm more than just my condition. And to those of you who have Tourette syndrome who might be watching this, maybe your answer would be different, and I can't speak for you. And I know that Tourette syndrome varies from person to person. I do. So some of us have it to a much lighter degree than others and might have a different answer. I really want to remind people that I don't speak for everyone. But I do want to say that no matter what the disability is, that question can be tremendously hurtful for people who are trying to stay positive about their situation. And it can be based on an assumption that somehow people benefit from being disabled. I can safely say that if I could choose to be less limited, I would choose that any day of the week in any respect. And that, yeah, I hope that you see more than just my condition when you watch my content. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to leave a comment. I'd love to know what you'd like to see next and what you think of this video and what I've said. And does it make you think about engaging with people like me differently? Does it change your idea of me and my content? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you again soon.